Hi, my name is Jamie. I'm going to be preparing gluten-free peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I was diagnosed with celiac disease about 10 years ago when no one heard of it, including myself. And I remember the doctor saying, oh, just Google it. And so I was probably one of the first ones that was diagnosed with the disease. And gluten-free cooking and products have come a long way since that time. And I have a lot of recipes that I've modified that were previously glutinous and now they're gluten-free. And I get a lot of good responses. And somebody told me to write a cookbook, and I thought, why not do a YouTube video instead? I've always wanted to try a YouTube channel, and I thought I would just try and give it a go. And so here's my first one. I'm not going to talk too much just because most of the videos that I have seen, they do a lot of talking that isn't necessary, and it's very annoying. So I thought we would dive right in and make the cookies. So these are the ingredients that we're going to be needing to make our peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I usually start off with a stick of butter, 8 tablespoons or a quarter pound. I prefer salted. It just gives the cookies a little bit more, a better flavor. You'll need 2.5 cups of rice flour. I prefer to use Bet's Gourmet Featherlight Rice Flour Blend. To me, this is the closest thing to gluten flour that I've gotten, and I use it in just about every recipe that requires flour. I use any kind of imitation vanilla or real vanilla. You'll just need a teaspoon of that. 2 eggs, good size eggs, large eggs. Any kind of creamy peanut butter, you'll need a cup of that. Just as long as it's gluten-free. That's the Walmart brand. A tablespoon of guar gum. I prefer guar over xanthan gum just because xanthan bothers my stomachs, and I know sometimes it bothers gluten intolerant people's stomachs. Then you'll need a cup of brown sugar. I prefer dark brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar, it's just what you prefer. And a cup of pure cane sugar, and this is just Walmart brand. You can use any kind you like. And then for my chips, I'm going to use the Enjoy Life, the dairy nut and soy free mini chips. You'll also need pure baking soda. I use a teaspoon of that, and then baking powder. I use a half a teaspoon of that. Now when I'm doing the recipe, I usually divide it in half and make just plain peanut butter cookies, because that's what my youngest son likes. He doesn't like the chips in them. And then I put the rest, the second half of the batter, I put chocolate chips in for myself because I prefer them. And I don't really measure these. I guess it's just a matter of preference how many chocolate chips you like in your cookies. And that's basically all you need, and I'll show you how to measure and prepare this, and how to make your cookies. So we're going to add our butter, half a cup of butter, and what I like to do before I get started is melt it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Okay. So see, the butter's nice and liquefied, not too melted. Then we're going to add our cup of sugar. And then our cup of packed brown sugar. And usually I just guess with the peanut butter, but I'm saying that's about a cup. And then we add our 2 eggs. Then I'm going to add my, tablespoon of, I don't really measure anything. It's just because I've made these so many times. About a tablespoon of guar gum and a teaspoon of imitation vanilla. That smells good. Now at this point I'd mix before I add my flour. Okay, so that's all stirred up, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of baking soda and just half a teaspoon of Rumford baking powder, because I know that adds a little something to it. I'm going to add my flour. And I usually start with stirring, but this gets really, really dense and thick, and that's the way you want it. And that's when I mean, you can use your hands, but I usually use rubber gloves. And you want to get it to the point of where you can roll your dough into about 1-inch balls. Yeah, that's nice. If you need to add a little more, add a little more. I usually take my stone and put a piece of non-stick Reynolds wrap over it, and then I start making my 1-inch balls, and I just flatten them out and put them there. You can put them pretty close together because they won't get much bigger than that. And then we'll put those in the oven. So here are the cookies. They're done after 12 minutes. So what do? I don't spatula them off. I just lift up the saran wrap, and that's how I cool them. They seem to come out much softer. And I just replace my tin foil with a new piece. And then I get my rubber gloves back on. And I'm going to do a few more just peanut butter. Okay, so that's as many peanut butter I'm going to do for him. And then I'm just going to add my chips. I'd say about a 1/4 cup. And just mash them in. And do the same thing. And then put in the oven at 350 for 12 minutes again. Okay, we're on our last batch of cookies, and before you take them off the Reynolds wrap, make sure they're completely cooled because they do get crummy. I tried to remove this one. As you can see, it's quite crummy, but it's still very good. Very tasty. And this is the consistency that they get at 12 minutes cooking time. So if you want to cook them longer, that's up to you.